After the pandemic, the world saw an enormous rise in the number of digital nomads. It looked like everyone wanted to ditch their normal job, pick up a laptop and work from some beach in Bali. And as early as this year, it was estimated that over 17 million Americans were actually digital nomads. And that's just the Americans. But life on a beach isn't always so rosy. Is the idea of the digital nomad dying? You will find out in a few seconds. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Zach Eekhout and I run a company called Emifast. We help our clients legally reduce their tax burden by getting second residencies and citizenships, incorporating their businesses and banking overseas. At the end of the pandemic, there was this massive shift that happened in the world. People felt trapped. People had a renewed sense that life was short and meant to be lived. And countries were catering to them. Places like Estonia began offering digital nomad visas specifically tailored to those workers who just need a temporary base and a coffee shop. And because of all these things, we saw the rise of the digital nomad. A digital nomad is someone who doesn't have a permanent home or an office, but rather works and lives wherever he has stable internet. And maybe also good if the place looks good on Instagram. But being a nomad isn't all about keeping sand off your laptop keyboard. What many self-styled nomads have found out over the past year or two is that life on the road is hard. Bouncing from beautiful location to another beautiful location looks good on paper, but in reality there are some challenges that few nomads foresaw. The biggest challenge to any nomad is distraction. I mean, you have a bunch of most young workers traveling to exotic places where their choice are grinding out in front of the laptop or surf. And what we see now are a washout of nomads who can't actually even make a living, even not a humble one. And that is all because there's too much distraction. Another challenge that many nomads underestimated was the loneliness factor. Simply put, life on a beach, and even a pretty one, can get lonely. We have seen a massive rise in the number of networking groups around the globe. And we have also seen a rise in not just shared office spaces, but shared work and live spaces. People have a natural need to connect, and many nomads are finding that life of FaceTiming with their friends instead of sitting down with them is just less fulfillment than they expected. Countries have rushed to catch up the needs of digital nomads with thinking like upgraded internet speeds, special visas, tax exemptions, and even nomad healthcare options. But there are still challenges. Hiking in Kazakhstan can be awesome, but try to find a 5G connection in the Urlas when you need to solve a very urgent fulfillment issue. I think now you will really understand the meaning of the word frustration. The evaluation of the digital nomad trend has led in a couple different directions. Some of the nomads are simply aging out of the life. They are returning to their homes, finding jobs, and either in person or remotely, and they're just living a more traditional work-life balance. Other nomads are embracing the idea of irregular nomads, where they return to a home base and travel 1 or 2 times a year. Still others, if they can afford to do so, are setting up 2 or more bases where they can obtain residency status and then operating as a quasi-nomad from those bases. And none of this is bad, it's just a change. At Emifast, we support your dreams, whether that means a nomadic life on the road or several semi-permanent bases. Safety is in the eye of the beholder, and we love nothing more than strategizing with a client on those things that actually matter the most to them. So if your heart is still set on being a nomad, call us. We're happy to help you to navigate those challenges.